Welcome to the module here for HVAC and Related Considerations, which really covers Chapter 5 of our textbook. You know, when I put this course together a couple of years ago, I really wanted this module, or not just this 2-week section, but I really wanted to put a 4 to 6 week section on computerized maintenance management systems. However, when things kind of didn't materialize when it came to getting a operation system, getting some subscriptions to get you all to work in, I fell back a little bit, and I fell back to HVAC and related systems and mechanical systems within healthcare. And we could certainly spend multiple semesters on these systems and getting much more competent, much more detailed. However, I know that in your careers or working in healthcare, you're going to spend a considerable amount of time talking about these systems, interfacing with people who work on them, both from the technical side to the engineering side to the maintenance side to the user side, that this will be one of those things that is a constant really in your professional career. And I can begin to count the number of stories related to HVAC. We've talked about that before in HFL 140, but here at 240, what we're going to do is we're going to go a little different and maybe deeper direction. In fact, this 2-week module, I think, is pretty much an overloaded module. I'm just going to say that right up front. It's a tough module. There's a lot of information to absorb. There are some skills to be developed, and so it is probably one of those 2-week modules that I know you're going to feel like I jammed a lot in. And having said that, I left a lot out, and but I wanted to hit some very, very key points and some key understandings. I mean, for some of you, some of these understandings are going to be the first time you've ever heard them. For others, you probably have heard them, but really didn't know exactly what they meant. And for some of you, it's going to be things you work with on a regular basis, and you have a pretty competent or a very competent understanding of. But when it comes to being a facility leader, we need to have a deeper understanding of how our buildings are affected by physics and its physical environment and operations. We need to bring these things together. We need to bring these, if you will, these sciences together with operations. And that's what this section does. It tries to bring together a few more things, and in the meantime, also tries to layer in a better understanding or more of a competent understanding of the systems which we work with. So when you get into this section, we're going to be talking about thermal, dynamics. We're going to be talking about, heat transfer. What is it? Some of the stuff we probably had back in, junior high school. But we're going to go over that again. We're going to try to lay a foundation just to understand basic principles of heat and heat transfer and laws of thermodynamics. And then we're going to extrapolate that into psychrometrics, which really has to do with just molecular structure of air. It's going to talk about with temperature and humidity, grains of water in atmosphere. I mean, all those things. When you look at air, what we see is clear. But what is there is many, many millions upon millions upon millions upon millions and billions of elements inside that air. And those elements in that air contain many things. And specifically for us, we want to know about the water it contains, because that has a direct effect on many things within healthcare, particularly comfort. And then we're going to kind of keep going on there and start talking about pressure differentials and pressure drops, and talk about the implications of pressure, not just inside the equipment, but inside the spaces. And then finally, we're going to start getting into the equipment itself, and then bring it all together and start talking about the implications as it relates to specific spaces. And so there's a lot in this 2 weeks. In fact, like I said, I kind of even felt when I was doing this, I felt like, I really wish I could have taken some more out of here just to make this not feel like it was so heavy. And I'm saying this right now because I really want you to jump in on this quickly. I don't want you to think, 2 weeks module, I can wait till the week after next, and then start, saying to me, it was too much in this 2-week period. I think at this point you've laid down the foundation in many of the other courses and many of the other modules to do this 2-week module this way, and to gain sort of this very concentrated understanding. Maybe in the future, maybe I change it up a little bit, but And I do certainly want your feedback on this 2-week module and some of the information, and see if we laid down enough foundation to approach this, and see if through the next couple of weeks, and actually I think I gave you 3 weeks to finish all the assignments. Well, one of the assignments isn't due for 3 weeks. See if not, this doesn't all sort of come together and make sense to you. And hopefully what this does is, as you walk into your careers and your jobs, and as you are in your careers and your jobs, it will take you up a notch or two on how critically important your understanding of this is in your organization. There are so few people who have a competent understanding of all this together and can actually take it and integrate it into their work life, into their decision making, and into their maintenance and operations. I mean, this is really going to be, while it's a lot of information, it is just the beginning of your awareness. It's really going to be like someone put a filter over your eyes, or took maybe, if you will, a cataract off your eyes as you look at your building, and you're going to see your world completely differently. At least that's the hope. That's the hope from the next couple of weeks. So it's going to be, like I said, some of you is going to be this is going to be tough. And for others of you, this is going to be, moderately hard. And for some of you who worked with this quite a bit, which there aren't that many of you, you're going to say, hey, yeah, that's the sweet spot. I also want to tell you that in the time that I've been doing this course, and even leading up to the course, I knew that what we're about to study was important. However, talking to industry leaders, I'm talking at a very high level, administrators and vice presidents and high-level directors, they are seeking people who have these skills, and obviously others, but these skills particularly, very, very heavily. If you can understand and apply what we're learning this week, and you can, really convey that to the people that are your employers or possibly future employers, I'm not going to say they would hire you on this skill set alone, but trust me, they will. It will basically put you. The cream, they say, rise to the top. This is one of those things that will help you rise to the top in your role. And someday, of course, the goal is for many of you to be directors, but you'll also want people to have this understanding in your organization and within your departments. So it's just that important. Again, I really do hope that this little lead-in, and put the double emphasis on that. I know I've said that a few times, but it seems like in our profession, there are so many things we need to emphasize, and there's so many skill sets we need to have that there are a lot of emphasis, there are a lot of exclamation points in our jobs. And I think that just really expresses just how complex and how important our jobs really are. So here we go into this week again. I hope this set it up. I hope you jump right into it, and I hope you have a great module.